design layers that I want to export are visible. So again, if you have anything hidden that you want to render, make sure they're visible in your design layers. Go to File, and go to Export. The one I like to do is Export 3ds. Now some of you may wish to challenge me on that. There's loads of different file types we can do. For instance, if we were to export to Rhino, we could do straight export to Rhino. I believe there's an option. Yep, Rhino 3DM. A lot of people export as OBJ, which is object file. That's typically the 3D standard between 3D file types. But I find specifically for exporting Vectorworks geometry, 3ds file tends to work the best. So I'm going to go export 3ds. There's a few settings in here I would change. I would change the top section to all visible objects in all layers. So that's kind of straightforward what that's going to do. Anything that you can see that's visible across all of your layers, it's going to export. Likewise, if I change it to something like only selected objects, I'd have to make sure whatever I'm selecting, only that would export. Everything else would be left behind. Or all visible objects only in the current layer, which is the default. That means it's going to skip all the other layers, so we don't want that. Setting it to that third one is the one you want. All visible objects in all layers. In terms of quality, I tend to set this to high. You generally don't need very high. I find it usually just adds extra resolution into it for no apparent reason. I generally find high is more than enough. And when you've got all these buttons that you can tick on the left, most of mine are greyed out because I've only made a wall object, as you can see. So I can tick export walls. If I have symbols in there, if I have plug-in objects or other 3D objects like lights and stuff, I can tick those as well and make sure that they import into my other software too. So basically tick all those boxes. The final thing you want, we have export materials ticked, but we don't have the box underneath it. We want to tick that. Make sure you're exporting your textures. Reason being is that when we bring this into keyshot, it's going to load those textures in with it. Even if you don't want to use them, it's still going to allow you to assign materials to multiple objects at a time. For instance, if we have a brick wall in Vectorworks, I could drag a new type of brick onto those walls, and it'll apply to all walls at the same time because they share that same material. It groups them by material, basically. It won't allow you to do that if you don't tick export textures as. It's up to you what you want to export them as, either JPEG or PNG, either one's fine. I'm going to leave it on JPEG and just click on export. And the final thing I'll probably do, just because it's going to export the 3D file as well as the flat texture files, I would just make a new folder to put all this in. So I'm going to call this Interior 4. Give it a name. And just click on save. So again, I'm just going to give you a minute to do that. Get your file saved out. Obviously, the bigger the file, the longer it's going to take to save. So I will give you a couple of minutes for that.